Oh, hi. I'm CharLee Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk. Talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. Also, talking to people that you're never supposed to talk to, because that's what the media keeps telling you. The left keeps telling you. Everybody, even people in my own party, oh, don't talk to those people. Don't talk to J6ers because it'll come across. That's the fringe right. The fringe right, because they were actually there at the Capitol and they were actually letting their voices being heard. They were actually following their constitutional freedoms. That's the fringe right. Screw you, California Republican Party. I will remain a Republican, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to give you another dime. I'll put candidates on who are grassroots and so on. All the ones that they keep telling me not to talk to. I'm going to keep doing it. And I have Sam Anthony on. Everybody wants to talk to Sam Anthony now. Started on my show, Sam. I'm taking total credit. Everybody wants you on their show now, thanks to me. Whether it's true or not, I'm taking the credit and I'm going to say it, and I'm in the media. So whatever I say, everyone will believe, right? Yeah. Okay. I got my good luck charm. Spike here. He's right in his usual spot right here next to me. Can you see Spike? Spike making up. Oh, he growled at me because I disturbed him. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's the kind of loyalty I get from my own dog. All right, my friend. Before we get to Sam Anthony to talk about a lot of, especially it was a historical thing, the meeting of the military minds yesterday with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. And it's funny, when I was watching him yesterday during this big event, this was a historical event, I kept thinking, this is the guy I used to watch on Fox News, or was he on Newsmax? See, I've already forgotten. Anyway, Pete Hegseth and President Trump, which is the commander-in-chief, was there before every single general and admiral in our U.S. military, all together. One room, same place, Marine Base, Quantico, Virginia. That was historical. My first thought was, good heavens, you want to completely disrupt our entire U.S. military. Some terrorist piece of crap could have taken out that room somehow. So I'm quite sure the security was intense, but that's the reason why you don't bring everybody together like that. For that very reason, but who am I? What do I know? I'm just a little good old boy from Bakersfield doing a podcast here on rumble.com/do not talk, rumble.com/do-not-talk. And you can follow me and support me and help me financially. Please, if you could, sure would appreciate it. It's an ask. Please go to my website. Check it out. You can watch all the shows there, regardless of the fact that Facebook shut down every single one of my pages a little over 3 months ago. Deleted me off the platform, and Instagram too, because they're owned by Facebook. It's all Meta. I put all my eggs in the Meta basket. That's my mistake. I'm now on Twitch, twitch.tv/CharLee Simons. I'm also, I'm getting on Getter. Got to do Telegram, got to do the Substack stuff, but rumble.com/do-not-talk. I'm live on YouTube right now as well at CharLee Simons. Who knows how long that'll last, though. They've already deleted so many of my shows, giving me strikes and warnings. I went on TikTok finally. TikTok. You'll find me there, CharLee Simons. What happened? About 4 posts in, I got the warning. I got a strike. Like, what? And it was all a show. It was a portion of a show with Sam Anthony, as a matter of fact. Who I have on the show now. I'll tell you what, let's just do it. Let's get to Sam. Let's get Sam in the mix, because that's always fun. Ready? Hit it. Stud, what's going on?
How you doing, CharLee? Good to see you.
I'm borderline amazing. Did you see the big doings yesterday, where we had every single general and admiral of the U.S. military in one place? They were even called from overseas for this pep rally, which is what it looked like to me. Did you see any of it?
I saw probably 50% of it. I'm trying to finish the last part of it because I wanted to.
I got some of it. I got some of it for you. Okay. We can watch it together and get some comments from you on it. But what it reminded me of was a high school pep rally. I was surprised that it was even televised. I didn't know it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a super top secret meeting. It really wasn't.
I agree. I thought it was good. I thought it was going to be super top secret too. And now the whole thing was filmed. But basically, it was just the old ways are over.
A pep rally.
Yeah, no DEI, no woke crap. Shave your face, cut your hair, lose some weight, and there's actually you have to perform in order to keep a job here. So
here's Pete Hegseth. Let's get some thoughts on this. That's not it. Silly.
And welcome to the War Department.
Let's try again. I messed it up.
And welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over.
First of all, that's huge. That's a huge deal right there. Just that name change, I think, is fantastic. It was always the Department of War, and it was in the 1950s they changed it to the Department of Defense. Well, it was after they changed it to the Department of Defense that we seem to get in more skirmishes and wars than ever in our history, starting with Korean, Vietnam, just goes on and on from there. It's been one stupid thing after another. Department of Defense. You either go to war or you don't. That's what the military's for. You smash and destroy things and you make the enemy take a knee, basically, or they're dead. That's what the military was for. But then they turned it into some kind of peacekeeping force wearing their light blue helmets like the United Nations almost.
CharLee, I don't remember when it was ever called the Department of War. I thought this was a new change. So you're saying it was called that before?
Yes.
I don't even remember. I've always thought it was called the Defense Department. And, when Trump changed it, I just thought he did it to change the name to make it sound a little scarier, to basically don't screw with us. We have a Department of War.
It should be scary. It should be scary. Okay, let's continue.
See, the motto of my first platoon was those who long for peace must prepare for war.
That is amazing to me that he walked out from behind the podium. That is such a politician move right there.
This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting, preparing for war and preparing to win, unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war, but it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it.
Again, and God bless the United States military. And
yes, President Trump took the stage. We're going to check that out in just a second. But getting back to Pete Hegseth, it was basically what you just said. Get ready. Be ready. Not that we're going to do anything, but we just want to be ready more than ever in our history, because there's a lot of bad things happening in the world right now.
Well, there is, but first of all, when you join the military, you don't join the military to suck on popsicles and lay on a couch and get fat. I mean, the reason you join them, well,
that
maybe they were.
Obama. 8 years of Obama neutering our U.S. military, firing generals like Michael Flynn and others, anybody who didn't agree or didn't want to go in with the kinder, gentler military. As a military person myself, I can tell you, I've been saying, honestly, quite honestly, and this is why I can't even talk about my role in the military, because just saying this could get me kicked out. We're not ready. We haven't been ready for a long time. I believe now we are.
In the last 6 months, you think he's cleaned up everything he needed to clean up, and got whatever protocols in place to be able to, for these soldiers to be able to to go into battle?
He warp speeded the repair of the military better than the COVID shot.
Well,
fantastic.
Good. I mean, it's like having a football team that doesn't know how to play football. I mean, you gotta practice. You gotta get out there and do it. You gotta be ready. You gotta understand the whole thing. So you're right. I guess it is like a pep rally, right? I mean, he's energizing these guys, and probably the way they put it on TV was so that the rest of the world could see we're ready. Don't screw with us.
The mainstream media didn't carry it, but you could see it on like Right Side Broadcasting. That's where I found this. Let's go to President Trump and what.
Can I just say one thing? What you just said. So
Please.
no foreign countries even watch the U.S. mainstream media. They all get their stuff on Rumble. So I'm just telling you. So,
there you go.
You think Putin goes, "Hey, let's see what Fox or ABC or NBC?" No, they go right to the internet.
They probably do. All right. President Trump then took the stage, our commander in chief.
God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm just kidding. That's not how it really ended. I just wanted to add the YMCA there.
I was like, "Is that real?" I haven't got.
That's how I wanted it to end, because it's what it felt like. It was just one big. How do I put it? Campaign rally. And I'm not going against my president for that. I think this is amazing that he did it and made it all come together with Pete Hegseth. But the danger of having all the generals and admirals and commanders of our U.S. military, even from overseas, having to fly in for this, that was kind of risky, don't you think?
I guess you could say that about Charlie Kirk's funeral too.
Yeah, that's true. Because we had J.D. Vance there and President Trump. That's unprecedented too, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't believe that people were too scared. I mean, look, that was even worse than this. I mean, when you go to Quantico, do you think there's any soldiers and any M16s around there? And I mean, I would assume in order to get in, you got to pass a gate with armed guards, right? You and I just can't drive in and go, "Hey, we're here." You know,
one bomb delivered by a drone, though.
Highly unlikely. So I mean,
well, apparently they felt so as well because they went ahead and did it. But
well, how are you going to get it in our airspace? That's the whole point.
9/11.
But they flew planes into those buildings.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I just don't see that happening anymore.
Let's talk about some fluffy stuff. And I normally try to avoid this because I know that the left throws this crap out there in the media, especially just to divert attention away. And I usually don't take that bait, but just for the heck of it, since I have you on, I thought it might be fun. What the hell's the deal with the NFL? Roger Goodell, that demon, their big announcement. How far away are we from the Super Bowl? But they made the big announcement that Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show. And everyone was like, who? I'm sorry,
who's going to be?
Bad Bunny.
That's what I thought.
You don't know either.
I don't know who Bad Bunny is.
He's some dude from Puerto Rico. When the NFL released their little press release with some of the Bad Bunny songs, there was only one in English, and the rest were all in Spanish. It's a direct attack against President Trump. I'm quite convinced of it. And the whole ICE and the deportation thing is to get Bad Bunny as your NFL halftime show at Super Bowl. And why are they making the announcement now?
They usually do. I mean, you really only have about 4 months left for that, but they usually do announce them real early. But so I'm just going to share something with you. So, when Kaepernick took a knee, I got so pissed at the way all that was handled that I said, I'm never watching a football game again. So to date, I have never watched a football game. I could give a rat's ass what they do. As far as
I've been boycotting the NFL ever since then too.
Yeah. So I don't even watch it. So I don't care what they do. Okay. It doesn't matter to me because they're irrelevant to me. It's kind of like the mainstream media. I don't even turn it on because it's irrelevant what they say. They're irrelevant. The NFL to me is irrelevant. So far I watch hockey and golf. The moment they do it, I will turn that crap off too. That's it. So, look, football's a pastime. Everybody loves it like baseball, and I get it. So you love it. And it seems like everything gets taken away from us, which is absolutely ridiculous. But all you need is basically every conservative like me going, you know what, I'm done with football. I turn and go the other way. And you want to know what the stands will look like? There'll be about 10% of the people there.
I don't think they obviously don't worry about that, though. I don't think
they don't.
Because if they did, why wouldn't they pick some big country artist, somebody that most of the fans of the football are going to like and appreciate and want to hear from. A classic rock band, something like that. There's all kinds of artists available.
Because
why
that makes,
go with some dude
because it
nobody's
makes
even
sense.
heard of?
How do you think that would go over in NASCAR?
Good point.
Yeah.
So that's and if they started doing that, and that's happened with NASCAR, they tried to go a little bit left, they tried to get a little bit woke, and we would have none of it. And we were very, very vocal. But with the NFL, they seem to be so arrogant that people are going to watch us anyway because we're so huge. We're going to continue driving little points home. We're going to continue being woke and posturing. Yeah. They seem to think that they're immune from any kind of boycott from conservatives because they know for the most part, conservatives don't boycott.
No, the conservatives do boycott. I mean, look what happened with Budweiser. Right. All the revenues that were lost, and, if that would have happened in NASCAR, he would have went from Bad Bunny to Dead Bunny. Right. I mean, he would have just the way it would have worked. So, and don't forget, you're going to have a lot of people that just tune out the Super Bowl halftime show because they're like, I don't want to deal with this crap, but they still want to watch the Super Bowl. I completely understand that. They're basically ruining it for us so that the minorities could enjoy themselves. And that's got to end. I mean, this is where
they're doing the Black national anthem now.
So I will never watch another football game in my life. I could care less. As far as I'm concerned, that sport doesn't even exist. I'm, more interested in, watching hockey games. And the moment they take a knee, I'll turn that shit off too. And that's the end of it. So don't ask me why they do it. It's stupid. But, they feel like they're, they could push anything down your throat, but the people need to just tune it out. I've already tuned it out, so anytime I get really pissed about something, it pretty much lasts forever, Charlie. I don't get over.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, I do not do Starbucks. I don't go into Walmart. I don't. There's so many that I do. Procter and Gamble completely off my list. And yes, I do read labels and I see who makes things. And if it's from P&G, I'm not buying it. But unfortunately, trying to get other conservatives on board and understanding this seems to be a lost cause to me because they're like, shiny. We could have gotten Taylor Swift as a halftime show. I'm sure she would have loved to have done that. Might have been a little controversial, but it would have been a far better choice.
I listen to country music. I don't even know one song she sings. I've never heard her sing.
Well, she had some country hits too, buddy.
I guess I just never listened.
That's where she started, as a matter of fact. And I knew at the time. I said at the time, she's not really country. She hates the fans. She's going to be going mainstream, just like so many others do. They start in country because it's easier to make it there. Unfortunately, it is. How about the Charlie Kirk thing on September 10th? We lost a true American treasure. I watched that, and at first I was just outraged, and I'm glad they caught the guy. And at first it was the old guy in the crowd who said it was him. Then it turns out it wasn't, and it was some mysterious figure. And there's doctored video as he's trying to run off the roof. Supposedly, suddenly a shadow disappears. What the hell was that? Who's doing this? Who's orchestrating this? Who actually took the shot? Where did it come from? And then, as they take the body away, it was never really turned into a crime scene right away. They didn't cordon off the area. And we had some dude with Turning Point coming and taking down the cameras. And you can see him on camera from somebody's cell phone footage, taking the SD card out of the camera that was right behind Charlie Kirk. What happened to that SD card? How come we haven't seen any of that video? Where's that? Then, to add to the controversy of it all, we're all hearing there wasn't an autopsy. The doctor signed off death certificate of death, time, call it, and no autopsy. Was he cremated? Was he buried? We know supposedly the body was in the coffin at his memorial that they did in Arizona. But then what happened to it? Where is he buried? All of this comes together it's driving people crazy. What's going on? This whole thing seems like, and now you got the people going, oh, Charlie Kirk's really alive. And it was all staged. Yeah.
I heard that already too. I think it's comical. Look, I don't think you need to do an autopsy. A bullet went through his neck, right? I mean, so
yeah, but from which direction? They're saying it came from.
Okay, well, I'm not law enforcement, so you need to have Cash Patel and Dan Bongino look into that and then figure it out. I mean, I've heard
supposedly they are.
Well, I'm just, because I've heard all this stuff, and somebody told me that they're a ballistics expert, and there's no way that bullet could have, would have, if he would have hit CharLee, would have took his whole head off. And I have no idea if that's true or not. But here's the thing: I would suspect law enforcement would know this stuff and would be looking into it and would be able to figure it all out. So you either, he says, I don't trust Kash Patel anymore, but I'm thinking to myself, well,
who says that? I trust him.
You trust that guy? I trust him too, but I have a hard time believing Dan Bongino is going to be on board with this. I don't buy that at all. Okay. I think Dan Bongino would go absolutely ballistic if there was something being covered up. Okay. I think he would be vocal about it. I think he'd probably start hitting people, like actually physically punching people. Okay. Lying, and then he would get right on his show.
We need more of that.
I do. And I think he would get right on the show and say, look, I'm just letting you know, this is all crap. It's a lie. It's a hoax. Here's the reason. I know this for a fact because I'm in there. I don't buy it. I don't think, I think if that's the case, he would go nuts, and he's not.
Well, if you want to add to the whole conspiracy theory whirlwind on the whole Charlie Kirk thing, there are a lot of higher ups that I've talked to in the Republican Party who are saying, yeah, he'd already been talked to about running with Vice President J.D. Vance come 2028, Vance going for president, Kirk for vice president, and that he had agreed to it and that they were getting ready to that and starting to gear that up. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing.
It really would have.
And now it's been stolen from us. We've been robbed of that.
Well, look, I think you have to trust the people that you have in power. And, I don't really know Kash Patel. He seems to be a whistleblower and, somebody that's hates the deep state. If he hates the deep state, I buy it. But how are you going to get Dan Bongino, which we all know is not going to, he's not going to tolerate that crap. He just won't. So let's say I'm making $4 million a year and I got to go over here to make $250,000, right? Or 150,000. Fuck this. I'm going back to that, but I'm going to let everybody know. Okay. I don't buy it. I just don't see it. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if there's something that was not accurate, he would come out and say it. And they would just go back to his old job. He would come out and say, these guys are all deep state. They're lying to you. Here's what I do know. And that would create a whole nother nest of problems. But it didn't happen.
Speaking of presidents and vice presidents, Kamala Harris has made the statement. She said it on The View, and she sounded drunk. It's like she come right from happy hour over to hang with Whoopi. That the 2024 presidential race was the closest in American history. And now the media has picked up that ball and they're running with it. Mainstream's going around saying it as fact. TikTokers, all the other influencers. The 2024 presidential election was the closest in U.S. history. It was a landslide. It was a landslide. She didn't win the popular vote. She didn't win the electoral college vote. She didn't win anything. And as a matter of fact, the only reason why she had as many numbers as she had was because they cheated so that we couldn't say it was a landslide. They added votes just to try and pad that ballot box a little bit.
Yeah. And by the way,
she's saying that for real, buddy.
I know she is. So have you ever seen an election, a presidential election, where they had to go and recount ballots, where they were actually suing to stop it, to go, okay.
Yeah.
None of that ever happened
George
here.
W. Bush and Al Gore came to mind.
Al Gore,
when
right?
it literally
Okay.
went to the Supreme Court. It was so close.
But none of that ever happened here, right?
No.
Okay, because it was so widespread that there what could she be fighting over? It wasn't even remotely close. But look, anybody can say anything. Okay, I could say I'm hung like John Holmes. Okay, but as long as I don't pull my pants down, you got to believe me. So I don't know what to say. It's just more of the crap that they give. But I got news for you. Remember when I told you only 10% of the people buy this BS? Right? And you said it's divided. It is not. 10% of the people buy the crap. 90% don't. That's all that really matters.
That was going to be my first question to you about this. And my second question was, how many people are actually going to believe this?
Very few.
You think 10%?
At the most. That's on the outside. Okay.
You have a better faith in humanity than I do. Then I've been in the media too long. I'm too jaded. I think that people are basically appallingly stupid. And I'm not arrogant. I'm not saying I'm all that smart. I've been so disappointed with basic humanity, and especially the voters of the U.S.
CharLee,
and in California. I'm a little jaded.
I understand, but this is something that's simple. And first of all, let's do this. The amount of people that are watching mainstream media don't even represent 5% of the country's population. I don't know. I think it's like 1 or 2. Now, I mean, okay, so remember, what do we have? 350 million people. So you'd need 35 million people
the illegals
to be 10. You need 17 million to be 5%. They're getting 2 million people. It's basically 1.25% of the population is watching it. So I'm sorry. You see what I mean? Yeah. So just do numbers, because numbers don't lie. They reach nobody. So nobody's even hearing the message. And even the idiots are on TikTok and Instagram. They're not even getting it. So my point is that it's an echo chamber. What you're doing as a media personality is you're listening to it on clips and hearing all this stuff, and you're getting enraged. I get enraged too. That's why I turn it off. So you don't have to hear. Just remember, find out how many people are watching Fox, CNN, ABC, NBC, and MSNBC, the national. Okay. Then Fox has the biggest viewership. All the rest, like CNN was 580,000 people over 3 months. Okay. So the point is, maybe
that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
How are they still keeping the lights on?
Well, they
don't have U.S. aid bailing them out anymore.
Well, it's all coming to an end. It's not going to last much longer. And that's what I keep trying to tell you. You think that everybody hears this. Nobody does. I mean, you're literally 1% of the population is tuned into mainstream media. That's not enough. Okay, that means 300 million people don't have any idea. Okay, and they formed their own conclusions, or they tuned away from it. So,
like you said, they are getting their information though from alternative media and social media, and those are the people watching social media and their little sound bites. These are the same morons who, when President Trump said, "If you're pregnant, you shouldn't be taking Tylenol," because that's linked with autism in children, taking Tylenol while you're pregnant. What do? They go on TikTok and they start making all these videos taking Tylenol, obviously pregnant. Just as a slap in the face to President Trump. I'll show you. I'll retard up my baby.
Isn't it awesome?
It's amazing. I
think it's awesome.
Stupid. These are the same clowns who were chomping on Tide Pods. This is crazy, but they vote.
CharLee, not when they take enough Tylenol, they don't. Okay? Just take more. Okay. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, they're irrelevant, is what I'm saying. There's not enough stupid people in the world to get these morons elected. If you really want to talk about something, let's talk about why the government is shut down. Okay. And what the purpose is. So if you really want to talk about something that's absolutely asinine, I don't care who you are, a Republican or a Democrat. If somebody said to you, we want to give $1.5 trillion for healthcare for illegals, and you're going to pay for it, they'd be like, wait, what? What? I don't care. Well, I got to pay for it.
And gender reassignment surgery too, by the way.
Yeah. So, right. So none of that is nobody's on board with this except the people that don't have anything, that are just idiots, that are taking Tylenol while they're pregnant. Okay. That's it. It's less than 0.1% of the population. It really is. For the most part, nobody would be on board with that. This is why I keep telling you, the Democratic Party is over. They're done. The message is, we don't care about the American people. The people we represent now are the illegal people, and we want to take care of them. That's the exact message they're giving. And so why are they doing it? I mean, lie to us. Tell us how you care and how we need to do this, and Trump's right and we should do this, but we have different policies, and just try and pretend. They're not even pretending. So, this is like load the gun, put it in your mouth, but make sure you pull twice. Okay. I mean, that's how dumb it is. This is why I keep saying they have no chance of winning anything. Watch what happens when the midterms come and everything is locked down in all these swing states, and there's no possible way to bring in truckloads of ballots, and there's no mail-in ballots. And by midnight, if you don't have these votes counted, 100% of everything doesn't count. Guess what? Watch the vote. They'll get like, if whoever's running, if it's Vance gets 80 million, they're going to get like 1 million. Those are the idiots we keep talking about. Okay.
And there's entire states that are run by these very same idiots. Governor Hairdo out here in California has just signed an executive order. It was just announced that they're creating, if we're defunding, or at least we're no longer going to contribute, thank you, President Trump, for making this happen, to the World Health Organization. We're pulling their millions that we've been giving them, even billions. They're going to start their own out here on the West Coast. So they got California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and
they're
we're all
going to start their own health organization. Okay. So, and we think this chemical mercury is amazing for you. We're going to put it in all your food because we have scientists who say it's great. Yes, 4 out of 5 doctors recommend mercury. Oh my God, you should take it as much as you could get your hands on. Look, all of this is just, as my friend Patrick always says, this is all whipped cream on horse shit. It's never going to go anywhere. Okay. The simple fact of the matter is your state will collapse. It will collapse financially. And so will Oregon. And so will Washington. I'm talking about, the state of Washington. All that stuff's going to collapse. Want to know why? Because they're not going to get federal funds, and without the money, you can't operate. And then you know what they're going to do? They're going to steal your pensions. There's a 100% chance that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And so let it happen. Okay. And then what happens? Once they have nothing left to govern because they've taken it all, they'll just go leave and figure out a way to get into the private sector and, rob banks or something. That's all it is.
Which describes socialism perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah,
they do really well until they run out of everybody's money, and then they go away. But by that time, they've left a wreckage, and I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel in California. But I can't leave for family reasons and obligations. I cannot leave. Otherwise, I would have been gone.
Well, I see in the next 10 years, property values dropping 90%. I think I'm going to go buy property there, and you could get in on the ground floor. Oceanfront views.
We saw it in 2008. We saw it in 2008, didn't we?
Yeah, it's going to be a massive collapse because there's no way to support all this stuff. And once there's no money and they're trying to take everybody's money, you realize everybody's going to leave. All the people with money. And the only people that are left are the people that have no money. The pariah that rely on the handouts from the government. And now they can't give anything to anybody. They're going to say, we're fiscally broke, so we have to take all your pensions. We wish we could help you, but we can't. But here, let me take it out of your own pension and give it back to you. We'll take 90%. We'll throw you 10 every month.
Right.
We'll give it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
I got a nice little check from the government, $700.
Yeah, but your pension's gone. You don't have anything. And so this is where it's all going to go. But eventually the whole thing will collapse. It has no choice. All you have to do is this. Think of it as your household. If you spend more than you bring in, at what point in time do you file for bankruptcy? Because it's coming. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I live in Florida. I shouldn't have to pay your tab in California. Okay, yet we have a massive surplus of money. So much money that these people are thinking about getting rid of property taxes here in the state of Florida. We're actually going to be able to vote on that. So then what will happen is there'll be a consumption tax to offset it. But now you got all this tourism, and the tourists are paying for all the schools and everything. That's the beauty of this. So you guys have the best piece of property in the world, and it's run by slumlords that want everything you have. They actually want the property. So it'll all come crashing down. Do you really think 10 years from now we're going to be having this problem? There's no more money. Where are you going to get it? Unless somebody hands you trillions.
There's one thing that they can still do to rescue their flailing party.
Partner with China?
They've already done that in California.
Good. Well, they can bring China in and say, we'll give you our property. Good luck with
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the midterm or the primary election by getting conservatives to continue their lackluster performance of showing up for primary elections. So in California, we have the jungle primary. Thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger, for that stupidity. And if we ever get a California Republican governor again, I pray that they end that stupidity, because it's completely dismantled the Republican Party as we know it in California. And it was such a dumb idea. And now they've run with it, and they've taken control, and they've taken the reins. If we don't show up next summer for the primary election, come together for one Republican candidate for Secretary of State, for all these other elected positions, including governor, we're screwed. And we suck at that. Well, it's in the teens, the Republicans, especially the Christian conservatives, who show up for primary elections. It's damn ridiculous. And then we get two Democrats running for the same office in that following November. That's going to happen again, unless we come together as a party, as a people, find your people, and actually get involved, actually get registered to vote. registertovote.ca.gov. Get registered to vote now. It's so easy. You just do it online. You don't want to register as a Republican, you're hurting yourself. Well, I'm going to be declined to state. Well, you're hurting all of us, because we need you in that primary election to be able to vote for who you want to see run for governor. Am I making this clear as to how important it is? So if California goes down, Sam, it's going to take down financially. It's going to hurt the rest of you, even out there in Florida. I hate to say it, because it's just too big and powerful of an economy not to hurt the rest of the nation and even potentially the world.
I totally disagree. We grow our own food here. You guys grow food too. Don't get me wrong, but we grow our own food here. Okay. There's farms literally 3-4 minutes from me. Right. I mean, so, and all those local growers, bring it over to the grocery stores and the restaurants and all that stuff. So I don't really see that happening. What I see is all the people with money leaving. You have no choice. I think your state tax is 10 or 11%, or is it 12?
Oh, and they're about to add a mileage tax, because their push for electric vehicles has taken down their revenue with the fuel tax, which is already the highest in the nation and has been for 4 years.
So eventually it'll all implode. It has to.
It has to. It's not sustainable.
I mean, it's not sustainable. And then what happens? Play it through. Just figure it out. Nobody's going to vote for the people who destroyed it all. Okay, what are they going to come up with a plan on how to fix it? Yeah. Oh, hey, good idea. Nobody's going to do it. So it's just a matter of time, and it has to happen. It can't not happen. It's not like they're going to come up with some miracle and all of a sudden, take all the tourism money and figure out a way to balance your budget. And they have no interest in that. That's not it's, hey, we got this thing and we're going to have to tax you for this, and we're going to build this train to nowhere, and you're going to cost you $20 billion. We'll have it done next year. But we're going to need a $220 billion next year because we really didn't pull it off. It's all a con. Don't you understand? It never is. There never was any real train. There is no way. These people aren't doing anything for you. This is why they need all the illegals in, so they can vote. That's it.
Absolutely. I've been saying that all along. They're not undocumented workers. They're undocumented Democrats.
Yeah. But CharLee, this is exactly what I'm saying. Even their own parties going, what are you doing? And you always have the extremists who are just, no matter what you do, you could shoot me and I'll go, I get it. It's good. All right. You did it for a good cause. There's always those idiots, but they really don't represent a high percentage of the population. Percentage wise, it's almost zero. And that's why I keep saying this whole thing is a house of cards. It's going to come down. And when California comes down, it just, to me, there's massive opportunity there. Massive. Because all that's going to be has got to be fixed, which means money will flow in there once you get rid of the garbage that's running it, and it'll have to be fiscally responsible again. That state should never in a million years have a state tax. It should not. Gas price ever. That gas prices should be at an all-time low. They shouldn't have property taxes. The amount of money California brings in tourism, it probably dwarfs Florida. Yet why is this state loaded with cash? It's because people are managing and running it properly.
Right.
They're not trying to figure out how to get your money. They're trying to figure out how to make it so you could live more comfortable and like it here and grow property values. But property values have been growing because everybody's leaving their places to get the hell out of there, get to Florida. So it's a house of cards. It's going to come down. Then the opportunity happens because now you could go in there and pick up, property for 10 cents on the dollar. Yeah. So
I know exactly where I'd be living if that were the case and I could afford it.
So you're
Big sir, here I come.
You're looking at this through a different lens. You need to look at it as, very simple. This is going to end, and there's the opportunity. You need to be living right on the Nevada, California border, like one step over, so you don't have to pay those taxes. Okay. And then the moment it all happens, you just take a step. I'm back. I'm back. I'm in California now.
Hi, everybody. Howdy.
Yeah. So you spend all of your time so aggravated about what's happening. Could you imagine if you turned off the TV and you got rid of you never had to see any of this negativity and all you did was just relax, have cocktails and play golf and enjoy life? Life would be so much better. Instead, you're aggravated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? And that's what they want. It's the same with me. When I turn on the TV, I get pissed off. So I don't even pay attention anymore because here's the reason I'm not paying attention. Because I actually believe we have competent people in office who are assisting to fix this thing. All I'm doing is creating the next mainstream media. So we don't have to go through what we went through with, all the network television stations with the consolidation.
Yes, you are. And I love it. I love what you're doing. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm on the platform as well. Sam has built a great way to get all your information. As a matter of fact, that speech from Pete Hegseth and what little bit of Donald Trump there I got from you, yournews.com. That's where I found it. So it's one place. It's a one-stop shop. But the best part about it is it's not only a national and a worldwide platform being on the internet, but it's also, as Sam says, hyper local. You can literally put in your zip code and just get stories from there too. High school football game scores and things like that, because he's got like an army of reporters and contributors and podcasters and broadcasters like me who have been, thrown away by their own business. And now we find a platform with Sam at yournews.com. So scroll down if you want to be a contributor like I am. It's easy to do. You want to buy into this too. It's growing like crazy. This is a ground floor opportunity. If you're looking for a good place to put your money with a good ROI, that would be, I'm not making any promises. I know I got to do the whole disclaimer about I'm not a financial advisor. As a matter of fact, I suck at my own advice. But Sam Anthony's got yournews.com waiting for you there. Just scroll down to the bottom. You can contribute. You can buy into the company. You can be a broadcaster, podcaster, reporter that's been thrown away by our own business. You've got a platform again. I love what you do, and thank you for doing it, Sam.
You're welcome, Charlie. But, just think about, how the landscape of media has been changing. And you got to play that out in your head, too, because all the, what we talked about, how many people are actually watching mainstream media, and it's, minuscule. And then the age demographic between 25 and 54, first quarter had only 500,000 viewers total over 3 months. So how does this play out? Where are they watching it? So it's all going to platforms. No kidding. I mean, this is how people are consuming their information. But on another note, you went to journalism school, I would assume, right? Broadcast journalism, I would think.
Communications, broadcast, mainly broadcast. But I did take one semester of journalism.
Okay, but how many people on YouTube actually went to broadcast journalism school? For percentage-wise, almost none, right? And so, you got kids coming out of journalism school. I'm talking not broadcast. I'm talking journalism for writing. Maybe they'll get a job as a newspaper reporter or something. Okay. But yet like YouTube allows anybody to be a broadcaster and the cream rises to the top. Charlie, I allow anybody to be a news reporter. What is a news reporter? A news reporter is somebody who shows up at the high school football game or the city council meeting, reports on what happened and shares it with the community. That's a news reporter, right? Did you go to school for that? So the reason I'm telling you this, in the next 6 years, I don't think there's going to even be journalism schools or broadcast journalism anymore, because there's nobody hiring at those places where you need it. It's now open to everybody.
You want me? You want a perfectly good example as to what Sam is saying is completely true. Look at broadcast schools. Early in my career, I was the general manager of the Columbia School of Broadcasting, and that was huge out here in California, Los Angeles based. They're gone. There is no Columbia School of Broadcasting. There is no any broadcasting school anymore. They don't even offer it in junior colleges for the most part. There's no more communications degree like what I had. It's pretty useless now, isn't it?
It's because of YouTube. Because now I could be, why do I need to go to school? People are either going to like me or not. When it comes to journalism, anybody could, go to any meeting. It could be, a Trump rally, or, they could go to a city council meeting, school board meeting, take notes, and they could let AI write the story. And once they like it, and they could put in the notes of what they saw and then let it just, articulate it for people in news reporting form. And they're a news reporter. I mean, this is not that hard. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is that all the old ways of doing things is being disrupted. It's going to be gone because there's no need for it anymore. If I want to be a broadcaster, my mother's always like, you need to be a podcaster. And I'm like, Mom, I'm the king of the podcasters. What do I need to be a podcaster for? I don't need to. I'm an aggregator of all that information. So, but for me to have a podcast, I just go over to YouTube or Rumble, create an account, and then I call my friend Charlie and say, you want to come on and talk about me? And you say yes, and that's what we do. I mean,
want to come on and talk about me?
Yes.
I love it. One more thing too, by the way, to my fellow broadcasters, podcasters, and journalists, he monetizes. So he actually shares advertising revenue with you, depending on how many views and clicks and reads you get. That's a little incentive for you there too. So, and that's hard to find anymore these days. So thank you for doing that as well, Sam.
It's the way everything's going, Charlie. It's, same with YouTube, same with Rumble. We're the same thing. So all the days of getting a paycheck and working for these news outlets is all gone. Now advertisers, when I sell somebody an ad, it's all performance based. And so if that advertiser, if 100% of the ads appear around content that you served up because it drew an audience, you get 100% of it, right? That's how it should be. The guy who is next to you that nobody watched this stuff shouldn't get anything because he didn't earn it. So it's all, and a lot of people don't like that, but this is where the cream rises to the top. And by the way, we have 5,200, I think 30 or 50 news reporters now.
Oh, you're up that many now. Wow. Look, you go.
Yeah.
Good job,
it's not even hard. So it's because they have nowhere to go, so the landscape for media, nobody's hiring. So either you conform to this or go pick a different occupation.
Yeah. Or try and start your own thing like everyone else is doing, or take Tylenol if you're pregnant and shoot a TikTok video.
Yes.
It seemed to be your choice.
So anybody wants to be a journalist, go to yournews.com, go to the bottom of the page and click the become a citizen journalist, fill out the application. Anybody interested in investing, we have an invest button down there. You can read about what we're doing. If you want to make an investment, you could do it as little as $200. But this is what we do will become the next mainstream media. Remember, I have 5,200 and almost 50 people, maybe. Nobody else has that. I mean, I'm like 5,250 people ahead of everybody else. Watch what happens when I'm at 10,000 and at 20,000 and at 30,000. 50,000 in the next 24 months is where I want to get, between 24 and 36 months. That will be, and by the way, I'm 10% there. Okay. So that will make me a colossal giant. That's the point. And we're well on our way. So this is the next mainstream media. Wall Street will eat this up. I'll probably end up taking it public between month 24 and 36, in between there.
And then you'll get infiltrated and you have George Soros buying controlling interests like you did with CBS.
I already figured it out. I already figured it out. I'm only
Did
selling
you?
7% in this round, 5% on the next round. Okay. And when you go to take it public, remember I told you what a content creator is valued at? You're valued between 10 and 12,000 on YouTube or Facebook or YouTube or Rumble. Same with me. So each content creator at a minimum level has a value of 10,000. Okay. All you do, for anybody who wants to know, Rumble has 250,000 content creators, and they have about a $3 billion market cap, 2.5, 3 billion. Just take 250,000 divided into their market cap. 3 billion is 12,000. I think it's probably 11 right now. Doesn't matter. YouTube's is 11,000. So everybody's worth 10 grand. So 50,000 people gives me a 500 to 600 million dollar market cap. And now when I raise 50 million, it's only 10% of the company. So there's only 10% of the company in the float. You can't buy enough of it. Now you see where I'm going with it? Basically, I control the rest. So you could buy all that. It'll just be me and you. And I'm going to say no. I mean, look, somebody asked me the other day, aren't you afraid somebody's going to create this with big money? I go, no, that's not how big business works. What'll happen is we'll get the 50,000 content creators. I'll tell you where the offers come. Facebook is going to do it. You're going to have Elon Musk is going to make us an offer. You'll probably have somebody from Google reach out for an offer. And then you're going to have Bezos make an offer. And then he goes, are you going to sell it? I go, no, it's going right to the public. Let the public buy this. They don't need to own it. I don't need to own it. The only reason I do is because I'm the one that has to make sure everything's okay. But this needs to be owned by the people, not by the same 4 people that are controlling the rest of the world, right? So that's all it is. I got another call I got to jump on.
All right,
it's 3:00, but thanks for having me on, Charlie. I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off here because I got to jump on another call.
All right, my friend. Talk to you later. SamAnthonyYourNews.com. Check him out. Make that your go-to for information. You'll get all the same breaking stories and everything else, and you can get notifications if you want. That's what I like about it. There's choice. There's choice. And you'll find me on there too. Just put my name in, but you got to spell it right. Let me see if I can bring that up right now. That's one of those little fancy things that I got on this new system. Thanks to Mike Cook for helping me get on here with Restream. Wait a minute. There it is. Ta-da! Somebody yesterday asked a friend of mine, he goes, hey, Charlie, I don't know anything about this tech stuff. Can you help me? You're a tech expert. Have you been watching my show? What have I ever done to make you think that? I appreciate you more than you know. I really do. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, following. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're on Facebook, well, never mind. Facebook took me away. If you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, twitch.tv/CharLee Simons, like, please, and follow. You'll be helping that way. You'll be helping the show grow. And if you want to take it to the next step, you could actually contribute at CharLeeSimons.com, CharLeeSimons, CharLeeSimons.com. Pray about it if you think this is a valuable ministry, even when I have people like Sam on with his filthy mouth. But you're getting information you're not getting it from anyone else. If you think that matters, you can help me. Buy me a cup of coffee or buy me a tank of gas. California, that's really expensive. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America, but most importantly, America bless God.